All right, welcome to the Women's Wellness Network. Today we have another lovely guest. Look at her lovely colors. Make me feel like I can't wait for spring. I have to have fake, I got fake flowers here in my background. You look so nice.
Thank you,
Yes.
Tammy.
Well, yes, welcome, Natalie Janine. It's so nice to have you here at the Women's Wellness Network. How are you doing today?
I am great. And first off, thank you for having me and having this network for women to come together. So I'm really excited to spend time with you today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's
You're
super
welcome.
exciting. I don't know if anybody noticed, but today is our first month anniversary, and we last time I looked we were at 920 people, so right, it's so awesome. Yay, yay
That
us.
is amazing.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank
Let's give it up
you.
for you.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's super exciting, and it's women like you, willing to come on and share with us, and that's what makes it go round, and that's kind of the point of it, right? Like to help each other out and
Yeah.
help each other heal and grow. Yeah, it's
Yes,
it's a great thing. I think all
it
around.
absolutely is. And to see other women on this journey with you, just a reminder that we're never alone. Even though we feel lonely sometimes, we have people that are willing to root for us.
That is very
I
true.
love it.
Even if they're strangers, they're not strangers for long.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. So why don't you start by telling us where you are in the world and maybe just a little bit about yourself.
All right. I am Natalie Janine. I live in Dallas, Texas. I am from Portland, Oregon. And so, yeah, I made the big move and it's been going great. I'm a freedom coach. I serve corporate women who feel stuck in the grind and helping them make six figures. I feel like money is definitely a part of wellness, and you want to make sure that you have enough money so that you can live your best life and do what it is you enjoy. And so that's what I do professionally. And I'm also in seminary, so I love it. I'm being stretched in many directions. And then I'm a fur mommy, so I love, love, love my fur baby. My first dog I've ever owned, and I'm enjoying her. And we've been together for, I think we're going on 5.5 years now. So yeah,
Sweet. Well, you have to tell us what kind she is.
this girl mixed with everything: Pomeranian, Chihuahua, Poodle, and Terrier mix. And y'all, she is feisty.
Fun. That's fun too, especially when she's
Yes.
not too huge. So feistiness is like, okay. So then, she can be in the house and not create chaos.
She gets into chaos. She gets into chaos, but she is, what's so funny? She's so large and in charge. She will, if she sees something that she wants to go after, she will and be so loud. And I'm like, girl, you only 12 pounds. You can't do much. But anyway, I love having her. She's a joy.
Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, pets are lovely. As I was just telling you before I came on, I was having to deter our farm dog from chasing down a squirrel outside, right outside the window. I'm like, this is not good. We're not doing this during our broadcast. So you go find something
Yes.
else to do. So she's gone away, luckily. So
Good, good.
you are a freedom coach. Can you tell us more what that is? I love that, freedom coach.
Yeah, it's really important for me to share my story, because this is why I got into this work. I was always raised to be helpful to other people. So in our home, it was never just us, like my mother and her children, it was always other people. And so I learned from an early age that if you have, you give. But I also didn't learn to stand up for myself or protect myself. It was always advocate for other people. And I think maybe I was supposed to internalize that I'm also supposed to advocate for myself. And long story short, my biological mother threw me under the bus and got a criminal record in my name. Yes, Tammy.
Wow.
I was in college.
Wow.
So I was in college in Atlanta, Georgia, going to the number one historical Black college slash university, just breaking all these generational curses, thinking that you're a girl is just so good and life is just grand. And I didn't want to go to college, but I'm here having a time of my life and very minimal debt. And then it's actually in the summer. So I'm on break in Portland on my internship, working for this elected official. I get this email from an investigator, and it doesn't say a lot. Like I don't even know if it had like the company's number or like their logo or anything. So I'm like, what is this? So I like emailed them right away and asking me talking like I'm panicked. I'm like, yes, let's talk right away. Cause why are you calling me? Like I don't have anything to hide. Long story short, biological mother threw me under the bus. I had to do 50 days in jail. Never had a criminal record. I lost myself. I completely lost myself. And in that situation, I was suicidal and depressed, and also like, God, are you bringing me out of this? And so I learned through that process and later in life how much we raise kids to be obedient and to be seen but not heard. And then when they magically turn 18, they're supposed to be free thinking adults. There's a disconnect. And I kept running into women who not didn't have criminal records but lost themselves in being everything for everyone and no one for themselves. And I was like, I gotta do something. No, because you can have freedom. At the time I wasn't a freedom coach, I was other coaches. And then I learned that I actually love negotiating. I love it. I love talking about money. I love negotiating one's salary, and it's just something I'm naturally gifted at. And I knew that I wanted to be a coach. And so I started this business, and it has been amazing to see, yes, you're going to make your six figures, but also to see women free, to see women healthy, speaking up for themselves, not settling, and doing whatever it is they want to do, no matter what other people think. That is the biggest blessing that I can ever experience. It gives me so much joy. I cry so much because I just see people living their best lives. I'm like, oh, I did that, or oh, I played a part in that, or oh, you did that. Like the impact you're making in a month. Like imagine what you're gonna do in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. Like you saw how I was like, oh my God, are you celebrating yourself? Because that's huge. So I just feel gifted to be around so many badass women. Like I love it.
Well, you're one of those yourself, and it takes one to know one ultimately, right? You can see that potential probably in others also. Probably
Yeah.
yeah, right? We can recognize those things easier when we've been there ourselves. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what a traumatic situation to have to go through to learn a lesson. I mean, obviously we learn all these lessons along our way, but that must have been so hard on your everything.
Oh, it wreaked havoc on my entire life. I I was unsure if I would be where I am today. I didn't know if because I grew up with a lot of struggle, and so I saw repeated things happening, like family members in and out of jail constantly, family members having babies at a very young age, and so I was just like, when I made it 18, I got to college. I was like, I have officially broken every generational curse. I'm free, and then I get this criminal record, and I said, oh, it must be. And when that happened, I thought, this is in my DNA. I can't escape it. Like
Oh,
I did all this work, but I can't escape it. So that scared me. And yeah, it's so interesting. Even though I was so sad and so depressed and crying and not having a social life as much, I did well in school. So I mean, that was the best term I've ever had. I guess stress will birth some good things. But yeah, I lost me. I didn't know what was possible. And I think another thing that made it really hard is that I didn't tell people.
mm.
And part of it was my biological mother feeding me so much information and saying everything will be all right. And, don't worry about it. And I didn't worry about it as much until I got a warrant for my arrest at college. You mean to tell me I gave you every bank statement, everything I had, and you're going to send me a warrant for my arrest as if I'm in trouble? That to me made me lose it because I was like, oh, you are in trouble. So it changed me forever, but I got some good boundaries.
The
Oh
founders
yeah, I
super
did.
important. So after all that stress and trauma, was there like something that did you just continue on to go to school? You decided this was it, or was there like some kind of switch that said, hey, I need to be doing this actual job?
There was two things that kept me going. So during this time, I was also transitioning into a new foster home. And so I was afraid to tell her because
Oh,
I was like, people don't respect criminals. We talk so bad about them as as a world, as human beings. We just don't, and we don't think they're good people. And so I thought she was going to write me off, and I was so scared. And when I told her, she's like, that's nothing. What? I'm going, I'm about to be charged with something. What do you mean? And she just loved me through it. She never felt burdened by it. She was just with me every step of the way. And so that was I was thankful for that. And I never thought about dropping out of school. Like that never came across my mind. So I think even though I was afraid for my future, subconsciously I knew that I'll be okay because I never gave up. I still went to class. I went to every class. I never missed a class. I still did my internships. I still showed up. So I think even though my reality was very scary and I was uncertain, I still had that inner badassery in me to say, I'm still going because there's more for me. So I think I was living in two different worlds and I had to decide that I was going to keep going. And I didn't really decide at first. It was my adopted mother, who I call mom. She kind of decided for me. And when she kept speaking life into me, I was like, of course I'm going to be okay. Of course I'm going back to school. And so that is how I kept going. And this is why I think it's so important. And I'm thankful that you have this space, is because even though we feel alone, we're not alone. And I think it's so important for people to be very transparent and vulnerable in their work and however they feel comfortable to give you permission to keep going. Like she gave me permission to keep going without even saying that. And maybe she felt like I was going to give up. I don't know, but she just knew that. And so having your space and other spaces where we feed into women and support each other, just that little, that even if it's like a little crack of hope or a little crack that you're going to be okay, it's just so beautiful to have those moments. And we need those so that we can keep going. One more story that I want to share, and then I'll hush.
Please. You're here to talk. Go for it.
Thank you. I was at church on Sunday, and I won't get into too many details, but a person came up for prayer, and I prayed for them. And I just allowed the Holy Spirit to use me and what the gifts that I had. And I spoke life into this person, not knowing everything that was going on. And later, the person came out and said, "You saved my life." I was thinking about taking it. Oh. And so I'm just thankful that we have people like you and me that are like, you can keep going. Wellness is your birthright. And you have 900 women supporting you to do the dang thing. So let's not give up. Let's keep going.
100%. Let's keep going. Right? Yes. Because there's always something, and there's always someone, even though we feel alone or afraid or whatever. But just to take that breath and say, I can do it. Mm-hmm. We can, and we do. And it's just that little step, that one little thing that says, I'm gonna.
Yes. Right. I'm gonna. And sometimes I see people struggling and push harder. And sometimes it's, maybe I need to take a day off to take some self. Yes, rest. Like there needs to be a balance, especially if you're feeling like you're at your wit's end and you're like, I am stuck. I don't know where to go. Maybe instead of pushing yourself to do more, it's time to relax. Maybe some self-care. And I can hear someone saying, well, I don't have the finances to do that right now, or I'm budgeting. But you have a body to go outside and walk. Right. In nature, you have a body to do some deep breathing, a YouTube yoga video. Like, take care of yourself. Don't burn yourself out trying to get to the next level, because it's not going to work out as well. That climb is going to be a little too difficult. What were you saying?
Yeah. Well, I know for myself, pushing, I've experienced that pushing and it's not going right and it's not working out. And it's like, come on, I'm doing everything I need to do. I think I'm doing everything I need to do. What is it I need to do? And then I realized, oh, the universe is resisting those things because that's not meant for me. And I need to just surrender. Right?
Oh gosh, Tammy, you hit a button. I appreciate and I understand what surrendering means, but it's so hard because we are control freaks. So the idea that I am not going to be in control and I'm going to let the universe or whatever I believe in to lead me. Oh my gosh. And you're so right. You're so right. I have had to learn my whole life to surrender, still learning how to surrender. And sometimes I'm like, I just want to do I'm like, girl, you see what you did and where you at. How about you surrender to the process? But yeah, you're right. It's important to surrender.
Yeah, it takes practice, I think, too. It's not just, right? It's not a one and done. It's something you gotta learn to feel on the inside and understand what that can bring even. And
Yes.
once you do it and it works, then that's when you get that confirmation and it's like, oh, I can do it again. But it still
Mhm.
takes a little work, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It takes work. And I think it's important to surrender because we're so used to doing everything ourselves that if we surrender to the universe or our creator or whoever we believe in, and then in that process, I think we learn to be in relationships with others and to lean on each other.
Yeah.
And one thing that grinds my gears probably more than anything is a self-made anybody. No one is self-made. We all need each other. And so as we learn to surrender, we also learn to ask for help. We learn to receive help. We learn to be helpful. And we create such a more beautiful in fullness in our lives when we do that.
Yes, yeah, it's more enriching. It's more than, there's
Yep.
there's things to be gleaned from that too. So yeah, we have to we have to allow that to be a thing,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So if women come to work with you, what kind of things do you implement with them? What kind of things would you show them or teach them?
Great question. The first one is identity. A
Mhm.
lot of women that come to me feel burnt out and a lot of toxic work environments. And so when I've been in a toxic work environment, and when women experience that, I don't know why, but we start to question ourselves. We start to think that we're not great at what we do and we're not valuable and we can't get the role we want. And so the very first thing we do in my program is identity. I want to rebuild who you are. It's already in you. And so I want to get you back to that baseline of being confident, knowing that you're worthy and you bring a lot of value to the table. And therefore, you should be compensated for the value you bring. So that's one of the first things I do. And then, of course, I love talking about money. I talk about how to negotiate and do that with ease. And so by the time a woman goes to my program and she learns the negotiations, when it's time, like when we do the first mock one, they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, let's keep going. And by the time they get ready to negotiate out there, oh, they are doing the dang thing. And it's so beautiful to see because if you can negotiate your salary and that's scary, I think you can do a lot of other things that seem not so scary anymore. Because telling somebody you need to pay me this much, that feels scary. And I'm like, you do that, watch how your life changes.
Right? Because the negotiations isn't just for money, it's for a lot of things in life ultimately. Looking for
Yes,
our
it's you
value.
advocating for yourself. Yes, yes. I love it. You said looking for a value. Yes, it's you advocating for yourself. And if you advocate for yourself to strangers, you'll start doing it with people you know, and then you start doing it with yourself. And then, like, you just live a great life and you have everything you want because it's possible. And I don't want people to hear like you have everything you want and it's possible and life is great that you don't go through challenges because I still go through challenges, but they don't knock me out.
Right.
It's like, oh God, are you kidding me? I gotta go through this. Like this is happening, but I don't feel like, oh, whoa, me. I feel like, okay, let me get my armor on. Let's go. And then sometimes like, you know what? I ain't dealing with this today. I'm just gonna sit on my couch and relax.
That's fair because sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And giving yourself that, allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to do that when you feel like you need the self-care, because self-care is so important. And as you said, it's not just going to the spa or whatever else it is, but just breathing,
Yes.
resting. Yeah, simple things.
I didn't really understand what self care looked like for me because I do think it's individualized. Some people can go to the spa and get their nails and toes done. That's self care. To me, that's just like, let me look beautiful. I do not like the process, but I love how I feel and look afterwards. My best self care practice, besides, praying, yoga.
Mm.
Yoga. I have learned through yoga, I go to yoga 3 times a week, but I have learned through that process truly how to breathe, how to stay in the moment,
Mhm.
how to rest, how to move my body. And the idea that like little control freak me have to be so present and only thing that really matters is what I have right now in front of me has helped me a lot. For example, I'm so tired of these spam calls. Oh my God. So Department of Revenue called me. I'm like, what? Why would you call me? And it was Friday and I was like dealing with it either. So
Of course.
I said, okay, you have two options. If you don't deal with this, that means you won't hear anything to Monday. Are you okay with going the entire weekend without hearing anything? And I was like, I am. You're not going to stress about it. If you feel like some stress is coming up, you're going to take some deep breaths and go for a walk or whatever. And you know what? I didn't stress. And Monday came and I had no mail from the Department of Revenue. So they will send you mail before they call you. So like, oh, spam. I haven't even heard back since Tuesday. But my point is learning these self-care techniques while life is good helps you when something's stressful, like Department of Revenue, that's stressful. Like, what are you calling me for? But it was like, you can calm down. It's okay. Nothing's on fire. Nothing's on fire. So nothing's an emergency is how I feel now. But that was not me back in the day.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And it's so, yeah, it's so good and important to have those tools to rely on. And when you work with them enough, they just appear. They just happen. And you don't have to like get yourself into that place and go meditate for 3 hours and all that stuff. It just comes naturally and it's easy.
So you know about it. What's your self-care practice? Yeah, you hear Tammy, she's an expert in this. She's like, it comes easy. Tell us what your practice is.
Well, I notice it's the awareness that I have that I think is the bottom line for me, right? I feel my blood pressure going up, or I feel something going on in my body, or I'm realizing I'm talking really fast, or something, right? There's a
Yeah.
clue, and then I'm like, oh, wait a second, I don't need to do this. I know I can take a few minutes, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
nothing's on fire. Um, so yeah, deal with it rationally, but you know, feel with it first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you said I feel my blood pressure rising or I feel that I'm speaking quickly because noticing those what seems little makes a big difference. Like this morning, my stomach started bothering me. And that's like I get nervous. When my stomach bothers me, I already know I'm nervous. I'm like, what are you nervous about? Like, what's making you nervous? And I still to this day, I mean, to this moment, it's day. It hasn't been days. But at this moment, I still don't know. But you know what I did in that moment? Is I took some deep breaths and I am all about positive affirmations and like really pumping myself up and talking the facts. I don't lie, but I was like, you're that girl. Whatever comes your way today, you gonna handle it like a boss. Let's go. And I'm here and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about it until you said that. But noticing these things in your body so that you can respond. And I think when you talked about the universe stopping something, the universe also tells us something too. And so, how can we respond to that so that we have this cohesive relationship with ourselves and the universe and whatever we believe in to ensure that today is the day that you desire and it goes the way that you wanted. And even if you have something that's like a glitch in the road, how do you go around it and keep going? Like everything doesn't need a response. I have learned that really, really well. Some things is just like, I notice things and I just don't say anything. I'm like, it ain't worth my time. Next.
right, that's what is that? Would you rather be happy or be right?
Happy. Happy.
100%. Oh yes,
Happy.
happiness. Yeah, it fills all those spaces in between, I think.
Yes. And
Ultimately.
it's important to know. And it's also important to know who you're around and how people are, because that can influence you or take you off of who you are. Like, for example, I just told you, I can see something, I won't say anything. My mom, oh, she's saying something. And she's like, why don't you say anything? I'm like, I don't have time for that. She's like, you do have time. Like, not that type of time. So also being really aware of the type of person you are and what are people projecting on you and what are you projecting on people. And the beauty of learning, people are going to do what people want to do. So let them do it and not waste your time. You
Absolutely.
can't be so invested. Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, got to take care of us. And whatever they do, well, that's just extra stuff on the outside, right?
If it's not harming anybody or you, let them do it. And
Right?
you know, some people have to learn their own lessons. I'm not. See, I applaud myself for this. I am very good at looking, listening, and learning because I don't want anything to take me backwards and it take me a long time to get where I'm going. So my mistakes are like really not big mistakes. And I think part of it is because I also have that criminal record. So nothing will top that ever again. But just yeah, live your lives. And like I guess you know how you hear people always say mind your business. And
Mhm.
it's so hard to mind your business, but it's like giving to mind your business.
Right? It's our own, nobody else's.
Everyone should be able to have the opportunity to live their lives. And so we should give people that opportunity and not always try to fix things. And I learned that really well from my mother and other social workers. People in that field are taught in school that you can't be more invested than the client. I'm not saying your friends and everybody else in your life are your clients, but you can't be more invested in their lives than they are. And I think that's freeing, but that's also, if you care about folks, it's hard to do and hard to witness. And I'm like, sometimes I wish I could just shake you and you would do it, but it's your life.
Yeah, it's their path, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
fair. That's fair. Everybody's got to walk their own way. And if we can assist them in some way along the way, excellent. If not, well, we're here when you decide that, you know, we could help you or
Yes.
not, right? It's all.
Yes.
So if
And some
people want, oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
and sometimes the best assistance you can give someone is living your life out loud. Like I didn't know that until I got into this coaching business and I saw so many different coaches that I looked up to living their lives. And let me say, what people show you on social media, it may be real, it may not be. But whatever I was looking at and I got a glimpse of, I was like, to see them live that way shows me what's possible. And
Right.
so definitely live your life boldly. And as you live a full life and you're on your wellness journey, to know that some people may struggle with that because that's not who they're used to. And like, who are you now? But don't let that stop you from living in your fullness. And so I can't say this enough, but I'm so thankful you have this community because you're telling women you are free to be well. Like, think about wellness. If you're a well person,
Mhm.
so many doors open up for you and so many doors you open up internally for yourself so that you can thrive. Like I love it. I love it. I love the success you're having, and I'm so excited to be here and supporting you.
Oh, thank you, Natalie, Janine. That's so
You're
lovely.
welcome. You're welcome, Tammy.
It's amazing. Seriously. Well, I've been thinking about it nonstop for a month, and it's just, yeah, seeing everybody come together and starting to support one another and being interested in, different points of view, different ways of coming into wellness, different aspects of wellness. I mean, a lot of people don't think finance is wellness, but for sure it is. It's safety and security and personal empowerment. So yeah, finance is definitely important. So if people want to work with you, how can they find you?
Yes, I will definitely send two links to you because I have like a Calendly link so we can set up a time to talk.
Okay.
And then another thing is I love TikTok and I'm very active there. So you look up Natalie Janine Gates and follow me. Please DM me. I love talking to people about any and everything. It doesn't have to be money related, but I love building community and getting to know people. So yeah, those two places and let's connect.
Beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll put those things in the comments too, so that people know where to find you and there's no screwing up your name or any of that stuff. I always, that's like one of my biggest things. Make sure you have the person's name so that people can find them because there's a lot of names that are similar. And, but I haven't heard of a lot of freedom coaches. So I think you're a little bit unique in that way, which is,
Yes.
it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Tammy.
Yeah. And thank you so much for coming on the Women's Wellness Network. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Absolutely, 100%. I am so thankful for this space and thankful for you. So thank you so much for sharing your time and space with me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Women's Wellness Network, if you want to connect with Natalie Janine, you can just look in the comments. We'll be having her information there and connect. She's got an amazing story and she looks like she's having amazing success. Look how vibrant she looks. So that's a start, right? When you're showing it on the outside, it's coming from the inside. So very, very beautiful. And
Thank you.
thank you everybody for watching. And until next time, be well.